Saturday, September 7th and day 8. We had talked about getting up and out by 6 a.m. to catch a sunrise on the first peak hiking up the Bigelows ledges, but we decided against it as it was predicted to be cloudy till 8 a.m. and getting out of camp by 6 means at least a 5:15 wake up. Turned out to be a bad decision. Slow Walker, who was in camp with us but several hundred yards away, got out at daybreak, and less than 1 mile from camp he saw, a moose. His first, and I have now hijacked his picture as well. We didn't see him until camp tonight at West Carey Pond, and he said he had been waiting all day to tell me. A really nice guy in his 70s, finishing his section from Connecticut and the trail once he retired. The forecast also was wrong, as it was sunny and very nice till about 8:30, so 0 for 2 because we likely would have seen a sunrise. But the clouds settled in the valley, and that is one of Danny's favorite views on trail. Puffy white clouds billowing down in the valley between the mountain peaks. As we climbed, we got that view several times from the west ledges and from Little Bigelow. As we reached the last view of the Bigelows, the east ledges, the clouds had settled in for good. It was very pleasant hiking all day, but I felt sorry for our friends from the hostel who had taken a 0 there, meaning no hiking miles, and were doing the Bigelows today, because they would not get the views we got yesterday. The terrain turned easier, and as we were descending, some day hikers told us there was trail magic at Flagstaff Road. The amount of trail magic and hiker feeds in Maine has been incredible. These people do it just out of generosity and love for the trail and its community. We quickened our pace because this time it was actually our lunchtime and we could take full advantage of this trail magic. And we definitely did. A full grill with burgers and dogs, fruit, snacks, homemade brownies, and all kinds of drinks greet us at the trailhead, as well as camp chairs and a fire. Jeffro, Minute Mike, and Jim have been doing this for 26 years, and they do it right. We hung out for at least an hour and shared stories with these three and the hikers at the feed. There were also 2 women helping, and one works at the summit of Mount Washington. She shared many of her stories of the rescues on the mountain of those not prepared for the abrupt change in weather. She had spoken to the guy who a month or so ago took the cog up, decided to hike down, and perished. You could tell she took that hard, wondering if there had been more she could have done to discourage his choice. Likely not. Jethro and Jim turned out to be from Massachusetts, of course, and live in the towns that my 2 cousins live in, Hanson and Hanover. And Jim is a cop in Quincy, where my parents and grandfather were from. Wow, once again. Finally, we had to get going, and the afternoon was filled with ponds. We hiked 13 miles, but it was our shortest day in time at just over 7 hours, which means the terrain is getting a little easier. We have no more 4,000 footers until Katahdin, which is a very weird feeling as it is still 180 miles away. We got to the lean-to at 6 p.m., sat by the pond for dinner, and then hung out at the fire with fellow hikers. Slow Walker is here, but we also met Shenanigans from Baltimore and a Sobo hiker, Cash. Sobos are hikers that start at Katahdin and hike south to Georgia. The Sobos have a long way to go, and he is targeting a January completion, so he will carry snowshoes and an ice axe. We're in our tents early at 7:20 p.m. because some rain finally did come in. It's the last rain predicted for a week. We'll see, but that would be wonderful. I do wish I had service here since it's so early, but it's when I reflect on the day and write these thoughts. Then I'll watch the end of my downloaded movie, and as I mentioned earlier, I love the sound of rainfall on my tent. Tomorrow we hope to make it to Harrison's Pierce Pond Camp, a famous AT backcountry camp where Tim makes heaping piles of blueberry pancakes and has 2 cabins of lodging. It's a great place to stop because 4 miles later is the Kennebec River. That is the one river you are highly encouraged not to ford because of how dangerous it is, and they ferry you across by canoe. The only problem is the canoe only runs from 9 to 2, so if you get there too late, you may camp and wait till the next day. Staying at Harrison's gives us a good chance to make the canoe early on Monday morning. And seriously, blueberry pancakes in the woods just taste better. We're grateful again for the miles we have hiked, the views we have seen, and the people we have met, but it's all going by a bit too fast.